Magic. I am.
Magic indeed. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to BSTV. You've joined us for the BSTV TCR challenge. It's Wednesday, and we do this all the time. Why am I so surprised? This is season 12. It's rounds 17 and 18, and we're at COTA. We're not at any normal COTA. We're at COTA West. I'm Pete Bing Chillin. I've been told to call myself that by Spencer. And I am joined in the booth tonight again, and brilliantly so, by Sir Alan of Toon. Good evening.
Good evening, Pete. Good evening, everybody. My pleasure to be here and expecting surprises because I've really never seen Kota West. Looking forward to this.
You are in for a treat, and not necessarily for all the right reasons. So, COTA West, we've got a 19-degree track. It's early morning. We are in the middle of qualifying at the moment. I will be surprised if everybody gets around a qualifying lap without an incident. This is the off-track capital of the world, as I called it on a chat today. This is Circuit Off-Track the Americas, because it is a magnet for them. More than one off-track per lap is common in the TCR around here, and it's going to be a feature of tonight's race. Let's see where everybody's stacked up at the moment. So we have last season's champion Sam Blees. It's his fault. He is the reason that we are having this track inflicted upon us, Alan. This is about as welcome as a fart in a lift, I think, is the right terminology to use. I can't ask you what you think about it. I can ask you what you think about COTA in general as a track, this Tilka creation of all the best features of all the best tracks on the planet, bestest, everest ever. It doesn't necessarily transpire to be the best track ever, does it?
Ooh, I've got mixed feelings about this place. You know, I love most of the tracks on here, but I find this a bit of a struggle. And I can see what they've done. You're quite right. They've taken all these really great bits and kind of put them together the way David Bowie used to write lyrics.
Yeah, yeah.
But honestly, it lacks something for me. Now, some people absolutely love it and love its awkwardness, but to me, it never joins up in my head in a satisfactory way.
No, I think that's all very fair comment, to be honest. You know, we're also missing out on some of the best bits of the track, or some of the worst bits of the track. So, you've got some of the tight chicanes. You've got. I mean, let's have a look at the map again. Just a minute. Where has it gone? I need to press this. So you've got the sharp chicane at the start. You've got the sweeping bit that leads you down to what would be the next of the point chicanes. But then before you get there, you turn left and head through the complex, which is the warehouse complex, and then you're back to the start again. It's quite a quick lap. Is it though? It's not, is
No,
it? 1 minute
no.
39. I mean,
I was surprised at that, Pete. To be honest, I didn't realise it was going to be such a long lap for.
no, and actually, nor did I. To be fair, and yeah. So Wobbly's out front at the moment with Spencer in second and Sam in third. Let's have a look at the championship. Sam Blees, I think, has wrestled the lead away from Wobbly, who is in second place by not very much, to be fair. And if he gets the points that he needs from the first race, I think it was, where he didn't quite do a lap, but he still got the negative points from his off tracks, then it'll be a little bit closer. That will happen, I think, by the end of the season. And then Spencer's in third, so in the championship. Second in qualifying at the moment. We've got 5 minutes of qualifying to go. And then Gary Craig is in fourth in the championship and fourth in qualifying. Funny how these things work out. Yeah, and then Matt Elmore has been scared off tonight. He's in fifth in the championship but doesn't feature tonight. 15 gladiators. It's put a few people off, I think, this one. Because it's not the most attractive track on the planet.
Yeah, well, yeah, we shall miss Matt because he's been doing a lot of hard racing and there or thereabouts.
He was very good last
well.
time, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've heard some mixed feelings about this place. Now, a couple of people have actually loved it, but they're COTA lovers, and I'll be
Right.
interested to see how they get on with this version of it.
Yeah, I don't know where the off tracks are. We're going to do a lap with Gary if he manages to stay on a running lap. He usually does. He puts enough fuel in to run many laps in qualifying, usually. Um, I have to say, my timing screen is lit up with people getting off tracks. It's quite crazy. We're heading towards the end of the lap here. We've got a right-hander followed by a right-hander followed by a right-hander. There's 1, 2, and this is the third of the 3. It goes on for quite a long time. Then you head down the short straight into what is a 90-degree left-hander, really. Past the pit lane entry, and then you're into another 90-degree left-hander. You're presented with the start-finish straight, which is ever so slightly uphill, and then the gradient of uphill increases into turn 1, which is pretty challenging in the best of cars. It helps you obviously retard your car down to the corner speed. Again, take a bit of curb, not too much on that one because it's quite abrupt, and then you get into this sweeping left-right section. So you go right through the first one. Again, keep to the left, and you go through this S's section. I won't tell you this corner names because they don't have any. It's an American track; they're all numbered. And then where you would go normally right there, you go left here through this very little short section. And then when you join what would have been the big back straight, so there is no big back straight. You heavy on the brakes, take a lot of curb here, lots of curb here, just like that. And then into where we were before. This is called the warehouse section of the track, and then you've got lots and lots of rights. Overtaking opportunity-wise, only a couple of places that I can see for a front-wheel drive car. What's your thoughts, Alan?
I don't know. It's you think there's plenty of room here. You know, it's a nice spacious track, and you think people can get side by side easily enough. But there's a couple of breaking points in there. But you're right. There's not an awful lot there to go out and make use of the space. So we'll have to see how it plans out.
Oh,
It's not you've got all this space. You know, normally that's an invitation, isn't it?
isn't
Side
it?
by side and
It's
battle
huge.
hard.
Yeah, hugely wide track, huge. Especially in at turn 1, you can get 20 cars wide there or something ridiculous. Good evening to Mr. Depth Perception. So Jason Haddington, the pirate himself. What's this? Good luck to Chris at Air Smart Racing, and also Result Guys and Hope Wobbly Crashes. We love Jason even more than normal. That's brilliant. I didn't think it was possible, but he wishes bad things for Wobbly, and we can only support that. Isn't that right, Alan?
Well, you know, I'm a bit of a wobbly fan, so I'm the
Really?
voice in the wilderness. Paul.
I might have to
Well,
mute you.
He's such a nice man to
Is
me.
what?
He's pleasant and kind to me.
Are we talking about the same guy? Dutch, you know, swears a lot, does bad jokes, makes me like have to restart broadcasts. No,
Brilliantly
no.
fast, skillful, and charming, and invites you to his house.
Yeah. I don't know whether that was him or his daughters and his missus, to be honest. So a big shout out to Bo, to Noah, and to Evia, and no shout out whatsoever to Wobbly. There's Andrew.
Well, we're very glad to
grips with
see
it all.
Jason with us because he's had surgery.
Apparently
He
so.
has.
Yeah. His
He's
conversion
got to sit still. He has to sit still.
Really?
So he doesn't wobble his eyes.
Really? I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to find a way to wobble the screen then, aren't I? Just to be naughty. Still on track, we've got Gary, who has he improved? No. Oh, and that's the end of qualifying. Actually, we're going racing. We're racing. Let's see if.
Yeah, where's Russ?
He's been lazy tonight. He got back late.
He's still got He's still got a poorly arm.
He has got a self-gratification injury, yes. So, round 17, your pole man for the evening will be Wobbly for Impulse Racing. Off second will be Sam Blees for Geodesic Racing. Wyatt Spencer will go off third for Geodesic Racing. Fourth will be Gary for BSTV. Jamie Jeffrey goes off fifth for CCL. Adam Wright goes off sixth for BSTV Esports Pink, with Carl Hardy off seventh for Safeguard by Result. Stefan Goebel off eighth for VTS Esports. Jamie Wilson off ninth for Team Chimera, with Matt Flannery off 10th for Jurassic Racing. 11th will be JB Dejoux for BSTV, with Ant Woodward off 12th for NQR. 13th is Roger Morton for Safeguard. Chris Needham goes off 14th for Air Smart Racing. Andrew Littler off 15th for Result Clothing. Everybody's leaving it till the very last minute here in order to get gridded. So all the front runners not yet joined the track. This must be a tactic about tyre temperatures.
Mind games, Pete.
Absolutely. And more of those, the better, to be honest. We like a good psychological battle. The whole of the back end of the field is here, apart from positions 1, 2, and 4. What does camera 1 give us? Nothing whatsoever. We'll go back to camera 2. There we go. It might even be better on blimp cam. Oh, that's miles in the sky, that, isn't it? Good grief. They're like ants. Wobbly's on track. Just waiting for Sam Blees now, pulling the ultimate tactic of keeping Wobbly waiting. Oh.
He must have a posh watch.
Yeah, right. Everybody's gridded. The lights are coming on. 3, 4, 5, and it's held them for a little bit, and we're away. Everybody at the front way well, apart from Wobbly. Everybody will be happy to know. And then starting to stack up a little in the midfield. Wobbly's going to keep turn 1. Or is he? Yes, he is. Yeah.
Ooh. Wow, that was hairy round there, wasn't it?
It was tight, but clean.
Yes, indeed. Well, clean is... we've come to expect that from these guys. They like to race. They don't like to crash.
Yeah. We've got 15 guys. Like I say, this track's put a bunch of them off. Understandably so when you consider the amount of off-tracks, etc. I really do feel, Alan, like it's going to be multiple penalties in the feature race for sure, because obviously this is a 20-minute race. No pit stop required. Oh, and have we got to slow down for Sam Blees already? I think we have, you know. He's taking a super defensive line there and trying to keep Spencer behind him. I think he's got to slow down, you know.
Yes. Well, he's definitely not. Look at him. Goodness me. Oh, this is an exciting start, because it's just what you said, just as you thought the words came out of your mouth. There's people in trouble already.
Yeah. Everybody else.
Look at that. That's given Wobbly.
Wobbly's got a mega lead already.
Yeah. Oh, crikey.
Yeah, 9/10 of a second. Everybody else through in good order. Some close battles further back. Stefan's in good company here with Jamie. So that's going to boil up eventually, I think, because that Audi's good in a straight line.
And Jamie's been outstanding, driving outstanding.
He's been great, actually, yeah. So Wobbly, obviously, with the fastest laps, and see everybody else is getting stacked up behind Sam. Let's see what else these guys can do. I'm trying to find a decent camera for us to view this off-track centre of the universe. Even into Dan Mould. You love this layout, do you? Well, you can keep it, apparently, because nobody else likes it.
Well, Sam does, and, Mr. Hardy expressed a delight.
Really? Carl Hardy?
Yes.
All right, let's keep an eye on him then. We shall expect a victory out of Carl. No pressure, So, interesting to find out what Dan likes about the layout. I mean, Dan, if you want to come and join us in the booth and jump in the interview room, why not? The more the merrier, all that business. I'll keep one eye on that for you. This is a Tilke design track, hence the gaudy eye-bleeding paint which is around all the safety features, and the sterile nature of the off-track, i.e. there's no grass. It takes you about 6 years to get to the nearest wall. Yeah, and if Dan comes and joins us, he can talk to us about SRL. I did their pre-media day race. It was good fun at Alton Park. They did the international version, which is great. Dan likes it because it's technical, he says. That rules it out for me then. What about you, Alan?
Me too, Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't thrive on technical tracks generally,
No.
but Alton Park, close to my heart. So
Yeah, close to where I grew up as well. We used to bunk into there as kids. Right, so what's going on here? Gary, I think, is in close company. We're going to go to... Whoa, right. We're going to go to the Mir space station and view the track from there. So you can see basically the full field there. That's Chris Needham in the bottom of the screen as everybody piles through. Wobbly's lead is kind of steadily growing, Alan.
he did have the fast lap, so I guess he's got a 10th, but it's not much more, is it?
No,
Let's
it's
look
not.
at the times, they're going to be tight at the top. They nearly always are. But he's got purple and a 39, so that's a fine lap.
Oh yeah, that's a really good lap. So, in practice and quali, we saw 38. I think a 37 is entirely possible, but your safety rating, if you're in an official, wouldn't like it. Dan says he's eating and watching the footy. I think you got your priorities a little bit wrong, but never mind. Never mind. We can teach that out of you. That's fine. So these two geodesic guys racing hard. Gary, I think, is desperately trying to do some clean laps. Is the only way I can describe this, because otherwise he'd be closer to the front runners. That's
Well, this is
nice
one of
line
those
though.
we're gonna get technical, off tracks that are part of strategic, aren't we? Get strategic off tracks in some places, and maybe this is one of those places where you've just got to swallow them.
Yes, and it's a good job. It's a league race and not an official race, because I think some of these guys would get their safety rating annihilated here.
I think if this was an official, I think they'd have different heads on, wouldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. If Russ is still watching, Roger Morton's still in homemade paint. Don't know why that is. If you can sort him out with a real one, that'd be great. I wonder what Kylie sees at the minute with his one good eye. Do you reckon that's just a blur? I don't know.
Well,
I've literally closed my right eye. I'm now watching this with one eye to see what the difference is.
Not much so far.
No, are you doing it as well? We should all do
Yes.
it. Everybody who's watching, just watch it through your left eye. Oh no, your right eye. Sorry, I've got the wrong eye shut. Jeez.
I'll have to come round and draw an arrow on your head with biro like Paul
Yeah.
Jason had.
Yeah. This is your right, and this is your other right. Yeah, brilliant. All right, everybody's getting in the 39s now, Alan.
Tyres are warmed up. Everybody's found their rhythm and their groove a bit, and hopefully that will cure some of the off track.
Yeah, and the first. Well, I say the first. Oh, Jamie Jeffries found himself a friend here. That is Adam Wright taking that position. Is it, or is he just defending it? I think he's just defending it. I think he got it off the start line. So Jamie Jeffrey piling the pressure onto Adam there in his Veloster.
It's a hard track to call which car's going to be favoured here. You mentioned the Audi, but the Velocity's been really good, but I'm not sure this track's going to suit it as well as some of the others.
No, it's a short squirt track, isn't it? A bit point and squirt in certain places. It is technical. Dan's absolutely right. Kylie's. Oh, he's nearly alongside him there. This is good racing. He needs to set up. I get what Dan's saying. You need to set up your overtake, don't you? You need to plan it a number of corners in advance. Understand what your opponent does in certain corners, and then kind of not do the opposite, but do something that's optimally better than they do. So I do appreciate what he's saying.
Yes, you need to engage your intellect a bit, don't you, as well as your passion.
Well, that kind of rules me out.
Well, me too.
Yeah. Kylie says it's okay with his good eye. His bad eye, it's half black and the rest is blurred. Right, it's a good job he's not driving, really, isn't it? In the real world. Oh, that's a nice.
Whoa! Is
That,
he going? Oh,
do you know what? On this track, that's not even a send. That's just what you do. Adam's going to fight it all the way around this very slow right-hander. He's going to stay alongside him through the S's, and that Veloster is awesome through there.
he was late on the brakes there. Goodness me!
Yeah,
that first left-hander's a wicked little corner, up so sharply uphill, and then you've really got to get to the left sharp because otherwise you're out wide right and in deep trouble.
Yep. And I don't think that's the end of this little battle, do you? I think this is going to rage for a bit.
It's just the start of it by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Goodness me, they're going at it Aaron Tongs already, and 2 great races, so no call to give them, but it'll be scrupulously fair.
And good evening to Lee Bowden on the chat. Again, if you want to join us in the waiting room, we'll bring you in for a chat. Apparently Dan can't be bothered. He's watching the football. What? Anybody else think that's completely wrong? And you can talk about SRL. And this, of course. And then, you know, how Wobbly's the worst driver of all. So, I don't think we'll necessarily see any penalties in this race, any drive-through penalties. Although, we do have Andrew Littler in the pits. So, he's just done it, actually. Let's see why he did that. Do we know why? Have we not got anything? Oh, that's why.
Oh.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Hit.
That'll do it.
That's a big hit. Poor Andy.
I didn't even get an off-track for him. I just got that, which is different.
That will have hurt.
Well, yeah, he's got a tow now, but he'll get a fast repair and hopefully he can get running again.
This is the kind of track that somebody like Andy and I struggle on, you know. It's the technical track like this. It lets the cream rise because that bit of skill, that bit of intuition and instinct for the turning and everything just count on places like this.
Yeah, is it the cream rising to the top, or given the fact that Wobbly's there, is it not the scum rising to the top of the pond?
Well, I think considering how close they are at the front 3 and the gapping, poor Gary, there's a lot of rising going on. I wouldn't like to describe the content.
Yeah.
There's a gap there, though. This shows you, because you wouldn't normally expect Gary to be getting gapped like this so
No, you wouldn't. But I think there's a few of these drivers going to be very careful around this track in terms of not attracting off track. So,
yes.
Adam is... Sorry, go on.
Well, Adam's probably... He's got that little gap there, but if Gary's trying to be clean, he's going to be vulnerable to Adam, isn't he? He's going to get caught.
Well, Adam's got the same challenge, of course. He's got to stay out of the off tracks as well.
Absolutely.
But he's doing a good job at the minute of getting rid of the affections of Jamie Jeffrey. Andrew Littler has come back onto the track at the same time as Stefan doing whatever this is. Is this anything serious or not?
No.
He's slinging his Audi into one of the S's, is he? Was that it? I think that was it. That's the most boring event ever. Right, okay, we're going back live.
Well, I'm pleased for Stefan.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's unusual to see somebody hit the wall so hard as that with Andy.
With Andy, that was pretty brutal.
In a place like this where it's so spread out, you made the point. This is a place where you can actually get off. But I do say that grass is like ice.
Oh yeah, it's faster than the tarmac. You think it'd be better to race on the grass, wouldn't you?
It's certainly it's not helpful when you're going along at 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction.
No, that's true. Jamie Jeffrey is closing back up at points on Adam. I think that Velocity's good in certain areas of the track, and the Elantra is making up for it in others.
Yes, an interesting battle, and I think we're seeing the velocity getting around the corners just that little bit nippier,
Yeah.
and then being tracked down slightly. But yeah,
Just watching.
long may them rain, because we like to see this kind of battling and determined, fierce racing.
Oh
We
yeah.
do like.
Just
Now, what's
watching
Roger doing?
Well, JB is catching Roger. He's going round the. Well, not last lap, but the previous couple of laps, he's been closing him down, and yeah, he's sent it through that corner a little bit too too hot in and not enough speed out for JB. So that's
Tricky corner, isn't
it.
it?
Is, yeah. To get it right is art. It's easy to get it wrong.
I've always struggled with that. You're kind of unsighted, aren't you? And
Yeah.
I think a lot of these guys, they're so good. They've got the strong visual image of the corner in their heads. They can actually drive around the image in their heads, and fortunately, it matches nicely with the real track, whereas mine doesn't.
Yeah. Well, mine I think is kind of just star shaped on every track. So again, we saw Jamie Jeffrey close right up onto Adam Wright into the sharp corners, but then Adam just romps away in that Veloster. Not a lot of overtaking on this track. We did expect this. I think everybody's being so super careful. This is a sprint race. Stefan is definitely closing now on Jamie. He was an entire tenth quicker in the last lap. Let's see what he manages in this lap. Significantly more, 4 tenths faster. He's hauling it in.
39.
In fact, there's a few getting a bit racy now. Matt Flannery has closed onto the back of Ant Woodward. And JB's starting to close back in on Roger Morton again. And at the front, we've got the two geodesic boys close together again.
Spencer's picked up purple, so.
Oh, he has, yeah. Yeah, and Sam has done a purple sector on this lap. So they are definitely pushing. And they're reducing Wobbly's lead.
Yes, well, I'm just going to say that I'm surprised Wobbly hasn't stretched that a little bit more, to be honest. I thought once he got that little break with the first early battling with Sam Slowdown, I thought that he was going to actually stretch away like he did last week.
Yeah. Obviously, we reversed top 8, which is why Stefan's pushing so hard, I think, because Jamie Wilson currently holds that position. Right, a few battles getting hot further back. Sorry, go on.
Well, Jamie's done well out of the reverse grids, hasn't he? He's really got away great in the second races and defended like a champion. So he will definitely have his eye on that. That's for sure.
Definitely. Matt Flannery again, closing right up on Ant Woodward up until the sharp corners. And at that point, that Honda just romps off in the acceleration phase. And similarly for JB on that other Elantra of Roger Morton. I'll have to see how those transpire.
I always love the way the Elantra goes around the corners.
Yeah, it seems like the most... Ooh, that's good. The more stable of the cars. Roger got that one a bit wrong, but it's balanced out by the end of it because I think JB took a much sharper line through it than he normally does, so kind of cancelled each other out there.
A good battle, though. You know, they're two determined racers, and Roger's really good at defending, and JB has been really... I think he's been doing great just recently. He's coming on... I don't know. It seems to be a different driver this season. He's found pace, and we mention him more and more often because he's there in among it, and it's great to see.
Right, let's have a look and see.
I don't want him to catch Roger necessarily.
No, the Jamie Wilson Stefan battle's getting hot, as was this a minute ago. This is a replay into turn 1. Oof. Oh. So Roger getting the turn a bit wrong there, I think.
Ouch.
And that Elantra of JB just looks like indestructible. Right, let's have a look and see what's going on. We're in the dying embers of this race now. Only a couple of minutes to go, so this is probably the last lap. No, Barney's not waving his flag yet, so this plus another one at least for everybody on track. Stefan lining Jamie up. That's really nice, very well controlled. Jamie's not done with.
No.
Jamie's going to come out of this on top, I think.
He's got the right side of the track, but we'll see, won't we?
He's managed to stay in front just for now.
But Stefan will get another go at that.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And Sambly's definitely catching Wobbly. He's cut his lead in half. But I just don't know that there's enough time left in the race, Alan.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Spencer's
You get the feeling always with Wobbly that he's got a little bit more if he needs it.
Yes.
And
Rogers jumped to the pits, so that was must have been a big hit.
Unlucky, and we've been robbed of a nice little battle there. It's a shame.
We have, yeah.
Well, he'll be happy. He won't be happy to have got the place that way, but it was a result of his pressing and his good driving.
Yeah. So we start the last lap, Alan. And here starts the race for the fastest lap points.
Yes. Now, we know that these Wobbly, Sam, and Spencer always have their eye on that fast lap prize, don't they? Maybe Gary as well. So
yeah, there's a bit of bragging rights in it. Who's got the fastest at the minute? Fastest lap is Spencer.
He's had that for a few laps now.
Yeah, a bit of a block pass there from Stefan, but it was all clean. I have to see if Jamie returns that favour by the time we get to the end of the final lap. It's certainly not over.
I think Stefan's got the pace in the car, though.
Stefan's getting all those big curbs, though, and Jamie... Oh! He was very tempted, wasn't he? Very tempted. Only his resolve stopped him from absolutely sending that one.
Yes. Probably a good idea, though, because it wouldn't be, I think the outcome could have been fairly bad. So I'm glad he held back there, but my word, he tried, didn't he? I bet that put the wind up Stefan and seeing that happening. Oh,
well, closing in at that speed, absolutely.
It's great racing, though, isn't it? Great driving.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's not the most engaging race that we've seen in this league. Definitely not. As Wobbly wins and the two geodesic boys go over the line, line astern, Sam and then Spencer. Then we've got two of the BSTV teams with Gary and Adam. And then
what's this? Is he? Oh.
Yeah, Carl gave it the best run he could at the end.
We still get the individual battles. It's great the way that the drives will pair off and there's a battle. We always have something to watch.
Yeah.
So that was probably the most dull of the sprint races, because normally they're electric at the start. These sprint races at the start.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
So that was not the normal fare, but I think the lads made the best of it they could.
Oh yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Andrew Littler, where is he? Is he ahead or behind Roger? I think he's behind Chris, rather. I think he's behind Chris there, and that is the end of that one. So let's have a look at the results of the first race. There we go. Meanwhile, Kylie says, Roger calling me for door banging. At least I have some lovely banana toffee, Sir Alan. What's banana toffee? Tell me about that.
Banana toffee is one of the greatest things ever invented.
All right.
It's famous in our team because it's one of the few things that exist that are exactly the same as when I was a child.
Oh, okay.
And it's a toffee made by the Walker family, and they've been making it since about 1870, and it's banana flavoured toffee.
Awesome. Right, I'll have to find myself
And
some of that.
I give it to prizes. I was using it for prizes in my league.
Really?
Yes.
Fair enough. Right, so round 17, your winner was Wobbly for Impulse Racing. He won by 1.5 seconds in the end with the squabbling of Sam, possibly a slowdown in there. I'm not really sure. It looked a bit suspect. In second for Geodesic Racing White. Spencer finished third for Geodesic Racing. Then we had Gary Craig for BSTV. His sister teammate Adam Wright for BSTV Esports Pink in fifth. Sixth was Jamie Jeffrey for CCR. Seventh was Carl Hardy for Safeguard. Stefan finished eighth for VTS Esports in a very hotly contested battle with Jamie Wilson, who was ninth for Team Chimera. Ant Woodward was 10th for NQR, with Matt Flannery 11th for Geodesic Racing. 12th was JB Dejoux for BSTV. Chris Needham was 13th for Air Smart Racing, with 14th being Andrew Littler for Result Clothing, and Roger Morton finished 15th for Safeguard by Result, 2 laps down. There we go.
Does he still get points at 2 laps?
Oh, yeah. As long as you do 1 lap, you get points. If you do no laps, you don't get any points. That's as easy as it gets in this league. So, people are out. Pit lane entry here, not the simplest of things, it has to be said. Some of them are simpler than others. This one's not like immensely difficult, I don't suppose. You come around the last corner. I don't know whether Spencer's going to do us a pit lane entry here. We'll see. So mega off track here. I don't know what the off tracks were in the last heat race, whatever. So yeah, tipping it in to the multiple right-handers before you get this. Where are we here? Oh no, we're only halfway around the track at the minute. Yeah, I thought we were in the warehouse bit. Now we're coming into the warehouse bit. So this is the multiple right-handers. Thank you, Tilka, for confusing me.
It's so similar, Pete, honestly.
It's
isn't
very
it?
similar, isn't it? It's shocking. And then this left-hander, and then pit lane entry is on your left here. Is he going to do it for us? No, he's going to go again. Oh, no, he's not. There you go. Late entry. Yeah, stick it on the inside. Camerons are a little bit down here, so you've got time to get the speed off. Not the most difficult necessarily, but it's like the rest of the track, isn't it? Quite technical.
You could certainly give your car a clout on the right-hand side if you're not careful.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Do you know what? I saw someone once crash into the pit wall before the pit lane entry, as in before you get to turn left, and blocked the entire pit lane for a whole load of people, as Wobbly does a ridiculous thing, puts his car inside the same car as Spencer. And he blocked the track for everybody needing a pit stop. It was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my life. And that was at this track. Because there's nowhere else to go.
No.
Wobbly's seen how far you can go with your car inside another car before incidents will kick in. It's a bit infantile, but they're both doing it, so they're probably both giggling to one another right now.
Yes, I imagine.
Yeah.
The boys are having fun.
The children are having fun, I think that's best to say. Stacey says the potential for sponsorship here is massive. It really is, at this track anyway, because look at all the spare tarmac that you could write a whole load of things like, I don't know, wild rides. How about that? That'd be a good sponsor, wouldn't it? If you wanted an electric bike, maybe you could go to that website and see. But yeah, this is slightly infantile. You know, banana toffee makers, that's what Stacey's meaning. Right, okay, yeah, you're right. That would be good. Walkers, you said, wasn't it?
Yes, walkers. I'll take a photograph later and post it in Discord.
Excellent. Let's see what this looks like from the inside. Yeah, that's a bit different. Funny how they've just both taken the... Oh, no, surely they're going to crash now. What? Right, anyway, that's the end of that. Right, grid. You really got to pray that things like that are not the most exciting thing that you're going to see all night. Anyway, round 18, Alan. Our pole man is Stefan. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's really interesting because he's got pace tonight in that car.
I think he does, yeah. We saw it in the last race. Why shouldn't he exhibit in this one? Hopefully he won't get a slowdown on the first lap like Sam did. So that's for VTS Esports. Carl Hardy goes off second for Safeguard. Then we've got Jamie Jeffrey in third for CCR. And then the rest of the field. So Adam Wright goes off fourth. Gary in fifth. Spencer in sixth. Sam in seventh. Eighth is Wobbly. Jamie is ninth. And Woodward is 10th. 11th is Matt Flannery. 12th is JB. 13th is Chris Needham. 14th is Andrew Littler. And Roger Morton rounds out the top 15. Everybody's on the grid already. I need to select a different camera. I think we're going to lights. We are.
Green flag, green flag.
Let's see. Ooh, Stefan's start wasn't great. Second phase is good though, and he's away from Carl. Carl's going to have to go super defensive. Gary's got his usual lightning start, and Sam, please. Oh, 8 wide.
Oh,
9
Jamie.
wide. 9. We'll go 9. Gary got pinballed all the way through that.
Great line by Adam there, and he
Yeah.
made the best of that. Goodness me, fantastic.
Yeah, Adam's done really well, up 2 positions. Everybody else has just shuffled around 1 position each. Don't know what's happened at Chris Needham. It says he's down as crashed and jumped to the pits. We'll have a look at that in a minute. No point in watching those guys. This is where the action's at around Gary and Spencer at the minute. With Wobbly getting a bit race. He's showing himself and late on the brakes. Underneath Gary, is he? Go on, Gary, defend it. Sam's getting involved there as well. Oh no, is that so?
Oh,
Yes,
well
it
done,
is.
Gary. Great
Yeah,
piece of driving.
nice piece of driving. Absolutely well said, Alan. Ooh, a bit further forward. This is much more exciting race already, Alan.
Oh, crikey, we've had more fun already than we had in the previous one.
Yeah, look at Matt
Oh,
Flannery
side
and,
by
and
side.
JB.
But you know, we've got. If anybody's going to provoke interest and waves of interest, it's when you've got people like Sam and Wobbly making their way through the field, and they will.
Yeah, definitely. Matt Flannery and JB side by side for about 4 or 5 corners now. And JB's given best on that one. So,
Look where Jamie Wilson is. And
I
then that
know.
just shows you how important that overtake was by Stefan.
Yep,
That put him
definitely.
on the front of and put Jamie in 9th.
Well, he's 10th at the minute. He's lost a position. I thought Adam Wright there was going to get Stefan. He's gone and dived down the inside. That's wonderful racing.
I think Adam's been here before.
He's done V8s here before. On this format of this track, it was actually, that was a pretty good and exciting race. I think front wheel drive around here is very different to rear wheel drive.
Right, yes. I find them very different cars to drive, just period, to be honest.
I mean, V8s around here, it's a bit like flying fighter jets around a teacup in order to remind you of what Bill Switzer used to say to us.
Dear Bill. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
hopefully he's doing well.
Jamie's, I think he's threatening and looking very quick tonight.
Jamie
He
Jeffrey's
pulled off
doing really good.
Yeah, he pulled off that really great overtake around Roger on that first corner, and it's really tricky corner. He's been fast through there every time, and he was fast through there off the start as well.
Yeah, he's got the super fast Spencer McCarthy machine lifting him out of that last turn there.
He didn't want to give it up though,
Look at that, Gary
Good play.
sniffing.
and that's helped Gary a little bit as well. Are we going to go 3 wide? Right?
Yeah, this could be painful. We've got a bird's eye view of this one. Gary's come off the gas in order to take the shorter line through the corner, but I don't know that that's going to work out well for him.
Well,
No.
at least he's not heading towards the emergency.
True, yeah. There's St John's
Oh,
ambulance waiting for somebody.
He's got Wobbly taking close attention, so I'm not sure I'd want that right in my wing mirrors.
No, Stefan took that turn a bit super wide there and got a bad drive off it. Gary's doing a great job. In fact, Carl Hardy, this is his corner now, surely. Oh, that's lovely. That's excellent. And all that's
So
done
I like
really.
this place.
Yeah, all that's done
He
really
told me
is.
he liked it here, so there you go.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, you were right. He's now in second place and commanding a good point score if he can hold on to it.
He won't care. What he'll care about is the quality of the race. Whether he gets to race somebody and gets to race hard and enjoy the drive.
Yeah.
It's all about the race.
In the TCR chat on Discord, Jason's or Kylie or Captain Blackbeard has just put a yummy banana flavoured toffee picture. Oh, a little shove there from Spencer on Stefan. I think he wants him out of the way. What do you think?
It's possible. But Stefan won't be bothered by that. He won't be discommoded by that. He's got a racing car underneath him, and
he's a very experienced driver of multiple different car classes. He's got a cool head on those German shoulders.
Certainly has. I love to see him do well because he's such a servant to sim racing.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, we like drivers like this. They're all heart and they're all out of there, and they turn up and they race. And yeah.
Yeah, he races. He races hard but fair. I think he's a bit of a cork in a bottle at the minute. I'm not sure. As Spencer goes for a very clean overtake like Carl did, and Jamie Jeffrey, like a rat up a drain pipe, he's having a pop as well.
He's been shocked tonight. It's Jamie, hasn't he? Goodness me.
He's been very quick. I think Stefan's going to get that done. Stefan got a huge amount of... Jamie's going to get that done. Stefan's got a huge amount of curb, and it put him off his own line, really.
If you can follow Spence around, you're doing well at all just to keep, but, you know that there's going to be opportunities because he's going to move through the field. He's got such basic native pace that he's always going to make his way through the field.
Okay.
No matter where he's driving.
Next question for you. What happened and why to Sam Blees? Why is he at the back of this queue? He's lost a position to Wobbly. Right on the very start, by the way. Why is he not... Down? Yeah, why is he not right at the front? Why is that?
And why? Haven't you got anything on your board to say you got to slow down?
No, definitely not.
Well, I hope his car's not damaged, whatever.
Well, we'll find out eventually, I'm sure.
Or
Gary...
perhaps is he next to Wobbly?
He is, he's behind him.
Right, perhaps he just wanted to have a word with Wobbly and spend a bit of time with his friend.
Yeah, entirely possible. I wonder who's going to be the first person to do the drive of shame.
Oh, I don't think we're going to see any of those.
Oh, I do.
Could be the guy's just picked up 4 points there by...
yeah, definitely.
Saying hello to the rear of that Audi.
And again, nearly. I think Stefan not as late on the brakes as the Veloster can be. It's amazing, You can get right on the corner and then start braking and you still make the corner. It's really good. Obviously not the way I do it.
Audi wide though, isn't he? He's making that a very wide car and he's good at doing it. So, but defending is a real art and it's part of racing for sure. And a good defensive driver, always fun to watch.
Carl Hardy's just let Spencer through pretty much, and he's nearly let Jamie through at the same time. What's Wobbly doing back here as well? So he's just overtaken Stefan. I think we just missed a whole bunch of stuff watching the wrong battle. As in me, not you. So let's see that again.
I shall watch everything you show me, Pete, and enjoy it. Oh.
So this is Gary on Stefan.
Gary. Yeah.
Beautiful line, but then Wobbly gets through as well.
I wonder if Stefan didn't realise he was there. You can get on the sides two at a time, can't you? And you can get two can go through, and you don't even know that the second car's there.
Yeah, Sam Blees also got through at that point. So these three were all released in the same couple of corners.
Well, they've still got their work cut out because Adam's. Well, look at Adam.
Adam's kind of checking out if I'm being like honest about it.
He's got
He's
fastest
doing
lap.
yeah, he's got fastest lap. He's from what I've seen, and I don't obviously you can't see everything. It looks clean, so I don't think he's picking up masses of 1Xs or anything like that, which is easily done around here. He's got quite a distance now to well most of the field, to be honest.
He's certainly got the bit between his teeth here.
Yeah, this last corner and the first corner seem to be the very key places for overtakes. It's where people seem to be lining each other up for.
This Spencer now with the purple lap. Yeah, you might know, of course. But this is going to be tit for tat, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I mean, that last lap, just to terrify Adam, was 6/10 faster than Adam from Spencer.
Goodness me.
That's unbelievable.
Look at the gap he's put into Carl already.
Yeah. Now we've got Jamie Jeffrey and Carl Hardy on the same bit of tarmac, and just behind them, Wobbly, Gary, and Stefan, all ready to make a fight of it.
Well,
No, it's not
they don't have
Stefan,
an
it's
easy
Sam,
time because
sorry,
Jamie and Carl will be fighting.
Yes.
And that will come first in their book. They will be enjoying the battle, and it's certainly going to give a chance for the guys behind to close any gaps. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them all closing up pretty quickly.
Oh, look at that from Jamie. He's nearly getting alongside Carl. If he does a a cut back at the end of this right-hand segment here, which he's not close enough
if he gets
to do.
that first left-hander uphill, that's if they're still battling there, because James been like lightning through there with that really tight line. I don't know how he gets around the corner, frankly.
No. In the background, Wobbly looks like he's setting up Gary. You can see they're all in the shot here at the minute.
That's great, isn't it? Look at this.
It's brilliant.
Now, my feeling is that Spencer's tracking Adam down here. That's another purple lap.
It is. It's another 6/10. Oh dear. It's disappearing quick, Alan.
Well, Adam will know all about Spencer and his pace. He'll be prepared for this, and it's going to be interesting when they come together. I don't think this is the greatest track for overtaking. We've seen some bold defending already, haven't we?
We have. I thought that this next corner that we're approaching now was a good place, and we've seen a couple of very good overtakes at this one. And then pretty much it's the last corner on the track and the first corner on the track.
You've got to pin your line and you've got to pin your brake in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're vulnerable. And Paul's doing it at the moment, because I would say that James got the edge on pace probably. But Paul,
yeah, I think the super fast are still to arrive on the scene.
yes, yeah. I'm kind of I like this battle between Paul and Jamie. It's because I know Carl will be loving it.
Oh, and look at that.
Wow, he's in.
Wobbly to pit road very early. Now, what does he know that everybody else doesn't?
Only 13 minutes into the race.
Yep. Now, I don't know what the fuel consumption's like around here. It could be great, it could be terrible, I'm not really sure, as Spencer McCarthy does. Oh no, he did that last lap, sorry, the 38.9. Right,
I
so...
thought it was reasonable, actually. It's smoothish tarmac, isn't it? I don't think it'll be heavy on the fuel particularly. And
no, there's
let's
not...
face it, these guys are absolute monsters at saving fuel.
They are. I was having to watch that because Spencer's definitely caught Adam very quickly. Here's the big group now that Wobbly was part of and bailed out from the middle of.
Oh, it'll be very interesting to see where he comes out then, won't it?
Yeah, I think we might have quite a few laps before we see what the eventual situation will be.
Keep that clocked. I'm trying to remember that.
Yeah, do you think that people will react to that and think, what does Wobbly know that we don't? Or do you think they'll just be like, oh, it's Wobbly doing Wobbly things, let's carry on?
I would be very surprised if anybody would change their plan up so early and go in early just because Wobbly's done it. He's unique and is the way he thinks about racing.
Sam
Yeah.
Blees
So there you go.
has
Now,
reacted.
what does Sam know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because Sam is absolute magic at pit stops. He's the best pit stopper I've ever seen for making a move out of a pit stop out of nothing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why he's last season's champion and this season's leader by, all right, it's not by that much. Ooh, sorry, we just literally, as I put the camera on him, we got the last 1 millisecond of it. This was Spencer overtaking Adam.
The brakes. There you go.
Now that's how you do that. Lovely and clean. And no chance for repose.
No, he carried the pace through there so sweetly, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, crikey. That's just skill and talent, and you just got to bow to that and respect it.
So
That was as clean as you can ever possibly want to see, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet and beautiful.
this 5-car battle has now whittled its way down to 3, with Gary at the back of it.
Poor Stefan's getting dropped off a bit, which surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, he's doing laps which are very, very fast, 139s, but at the top end, not the middle or the bottom. So he's 4/10 a lap slower than these guys, and that's quite a lot, isn't it, around this
Yeah,
lap?
but it's just a bit too much to be able to keep in the tow, isn't it? And take advantage of the drafts. So, but I see Gary's doing his watching brief again. We've seen him do this before, where he just lays off slightly and just takes advantage of the fuel saving. He's still in a place where he can do that.
And I'm not sure that there isn't a benefit to fuel saving around here. I don't know that. We can see it in what he does, so let's have a look. Do a lap with Gary. So you got a left-hander, followed by another right-hander, followed by a left-hander, which takes us across the circuit where you would normally go right. So here. He closes up on them. Doesn't sound like he's fuel saving a great deal. We'll know here. He's maybe off a little early. He's not feathering the gas or anything, so. And he's closed right up on Jamie Jeffrey. I don't think there's an opportunity for him to pass because of where Carl's car is. You may see him come to pit road if he's feels like he's not making the progress he needs. That's off the gas though, through there. Yeah, he's off the gas. That I think he's doing some fuel saving, Alan.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if he wasn't.
And I thought so. He's gone to pit road. I think he's being slowed down by the two in front of him. So he's done the sensible thing, and he's taken to a different strategy.
Yes.
So
Well,
good effort.
that's like the third leading driver to do that, and yeah, that's reacting smartly to what's happening in front of you because he couldn't get by, could he?
No. That was a good
There
bit of
was
drama,
all-
that. I quite like that.
How's it going to fall into place as he comes out?
Yeah, that's a good point. Where is Sam Blees? Because he was in that heated battle with him. So let's have a look. Sam Blees is over the line. Where is Gary? Where is Gary? I've just clicked on... so Gary's come out behind these two. That was, yeah, an ever-closing apex, that, I think. I don't know what that's done for Gary. It's certainly...
Well, I think he's probably behind quite a quicker pair here.
I would agree.
So that could affect things in the turnout at the end when Cole pits.
Yeah. I think we've got another conversation to have in a minute, but I'll save it until other people have pitted. There's a reason for that. Right, so Ant Woodward's got himself a friend back here in the form of Matt Flannery. This battle was going on, raging all through the last race as well. It didn't aspire to much, as in it stayed as it was, as Carl Hardy enters pit road.
Well, he managed to keep Jamie behind him with some really good driving, but I'm sure it was slowing him down, having to be aware of Jamie right in his mirror all the time.
Yep.
Not ever going to be a comfortable feeling, knowing that someone so quick on the uptake is just there, waiting for any kind of slight error. So he won't mind. He's using his head to come in.
Yep.
Spencer still making fast laps.
He is,
So,
but Adam's not letting him get away. There's not a great deal in it. A couple of tenths here, taken back there. That last lap, he was 3/10 faster.
he'll be trying his very best, won't he? I think this is probably his best chance he's had to race Spencer all season.
Yeah, I would
Just
say
head
so.
to head at the front of the race, and
Yeah.
I think he's relishing that. He'll be trying his hardest, and yeah, good on him.
And Carl Hardy has come out behind this whole crew here. Let's see why. The reason why is because he took 2 whole seconds longer stationary in pit road.
That's
So-
my skipper.
I'm not sure why he would do. He's obviously taken on a lot more fuel. Nothing to do with tyres here, as I got corrected last time.
I think his burger delivery was slow.
Or pie delivery, yeah.
I didn't really. I think he likes a burger in race.
Oh, really? I wonder why have they never done. Right, here's one for everybody that's watching at the moment. Why have they never done burger flavoured pies?
I don't know.
You think that'd be popular, wouldn't you? Burgers are popular, pies are popular. Civics have come to pit road, so Jamie Wilson and Ant Woodward. They were a few tenths apart as they entered. They remain so. The pit window here is going to be massive, isn't it? Because I don't think it's a high fuel usage track. They both leave together. I think that's about balanced out, to be fair. Let's have a look at their stationary time. So Ant Woodward did a little better there. And I'm talking like 3/10 better in that little pit stop exchange.
2 excellent pit stops, I think. You'd expect that Jamie's really good at that stuff. And Ant's very experienced.
So, last lap.
So, everything's shuffling around.
Yeah, this is how close it is. Last lap, Sam Blease, who's just behind Roger there, who's about to get a lap put on him unless he pits, did a 1:39.08, and Spencer did a 1:39.09. So
So,
the minute,
there you go then, see?
Yeah.
Nothing exciting happening there. Both of them the same.
That's exactly what I'm not saying. If Roger did want to pit there, he's not got the option because Sam Blease and Wobbly are on his inside, blocking his route to the pits. But I think he's quite happy to carry on. Meanwhile, Jamie and Matt Flannery, both in the pits. Interesting to see where Jamie Jeffrey comes out. He was battling with the front runners Carl and Gary there.
Oh, yeah, and he's come out behind Carl, which is
Yeah.
where he went, which is where. So always status quo, but the gap's considerably bigger, isn't it?
It is. I don't
Which
know
not
why.
surprising me, because Carl's not the greatest pit stopper in the world.
No, he's not, and he's proven it because he was 2 seconds slower in his pit stop than everybody else. But that's okay because Jamie Jeffrey was 5 seconds slower than everybody else.
Crikey.
Yeah, I don't know what the cause of that is.
So, did he have a bad overshoot his box or something? I wonder. That's that kind of time, isn't it?
That's his stationary time, so that means he's taken on.
Oh,
Like, maybe he wants to do COTA twice. Maybe he likes it that much. He's fueled up to do 2 races. I don't know.
yeah, it's a bit of a puzzler, that one.
Isn't it? So we're obviously...
It's cost him, though, on the road. It's cost him.
Yeah, big
It
time.
has, because he's going to have to work hard to close that gap.
But
Still,
the annoying thing is he's fast.
yes.
So I think he's...
Oh, I think he'll be able to close the gap. I wouldn't be at all
Yeah.
surprised that he can't close the gap, because it was... I'm sure he had the pace, but Carl was just defending so strongly. He just couldn't get that extra couple of tenths he needed. But I'm sure he's got those extra couple of tenths for the chase. And there's Roger going in the pits.
Yeah, Roger's pit road.
So maybe he was wanting to go in the pits last lap, but he couldn't get in.
Entirely possible. I don't think there's any desperation in it, though.
No.
Such a low fuel usage track, I expect. Yeah. That's Wobbly getting very, very good lines through turn 1 there. Does the iRacing auto fuel work in hosted? Yes, it does. This is a league session, so I suppose it is the same as a hosted session. But yeah, the auto fuel thing is still available. I don't even think you can switch it off, Lee. I think it's just a driver aid, which is available all the time. So, who still owes us a pit stop? Spencer, your provisional, I'm saying, race leader, owes us a pit stop, as does Adam, who is in shot behind him. Not letting him get away, really. Not too much, anyway. Then there's a huge gap back to Stefan. 13.4 seconds back. They have not stopped yet, those 3 cars. Your first car that has is Sam Blease, who's getting some attention now from Wobbly.
Well, that might be good for the guys in front, because normally Sam would be happy pedal to the metal, because he would be trying to make use of his pit stop time, and which we know that would be rapid, and we've seen him take advantage so many times. But if he's got to worry about Wobbly behind him a little bit, then it can't be all about making time. So
No. So, just to answer Lee on the chat, because he says he just wondered because the last time that didn't exist. No, I've raced with it. I think it's pretty accurate, to be fair. It certainly has never let me run out of fuel. And he had to use crew chief for all that. I know a lot of people that still use crew chief, to be honest. I don't know why they wouldn't trust the iRacing one. There's a few different things. I know Gary uses like 6 different tools to make sure that he's optimizing his fuel. He's gonna have a pop at me now because I'm sure it's only 4. Yeah, there's a million different ways that fuel gets calculated. Race Labs has a calculator on it, which is manual. It's not automatic like Crew Chief or like the iRacing one. But yeah, we'll have to go racing, you and I, and see who can come last. Not on this track though, because it's not worth the safety rating loss. As Spencer McCarthy does a 138.8, Alan.
yes, well, I was waiting for the 38 to come.
Yeah.
I felt it was on the way there, and I've just been waiting for it.
That's a nice attempt.
It's a challenge for Adam.
Yeah.
But
It's Ant.
yeah.
And Jamie's going to defend this, I think. Yes, is he? Oh, I thought Ant was going to send that in the penultimate turn.
No.
Just to respond to Lee on the chat. He says, I bet Gary practices everything. I imagine him being up at 3 a.m. practicing pit stops. Let's not be that harsh. It's at least 2:30. And all day and all night. But never mind. I think anybody think he knew him? I've known Gary for about 16 years or something to that effect. He's when he gets interested in something, it's hard to stop him being brilliant at it. It has to be said. Still waiting for a pit stop from Spencer, Adam, and Stefan. Alan.
Yes, well, Spencer's been doing all these fast laps, but Adam's fighting so hard to minimise that gap, and he's in the pits now. But he was holding it at 2 seconds pretty well, even when Spencer was doing his fast laps. So he's driving his heart out in that car tonight.
He is. I wondered whether Stefan would go for a lead lap and get some points, but he's not done. Right, this is going to be very interesting because it now depends on what happens with Sam Blees. He's being chased by Wobbly. Wobbly's not as near as he was previously. And then behind them is Gary and Carl in the 2 yellow cars. So will we see Sam Blees come out anywhere near these guys? Where is he?
It's there. He's behind.
Sorry, not Sam. Spencer. Spencer's ahead by a long way.
Right, yeah. Spencer's gone. And Adam's in front of Sam.
Yes.
That was a closer call.
It really was, actually. So Adam and Spencer both appear out of the pits ahead of Sam Blees. I think this is going to get pretty heated, though. Let's have a look at pit stop still times. They all need the same amount of fuel eventually anyway. The two quickest at pit stops stationary time are Spencer and Wobbly. Both under 8 seconds. Have they underfueled? Answers on a postcard. Then we've got Adam and Sam and who's that? Gary, all on around about 8 seconds. Along with Ant Woodward, who's clearly calculating the same way, or saving fuel in the same way, I don't know. So I think that there's still life in this race yet. I think there's still some battles to come to us. I think the incident limit is going to definitely play a part from what I've observed of the chat. And know over the track, it's difficult in a V8, which is what I've done it on, or in rather. Front wheel drive seems to be a lot worse for off tracks.
That surprises me a bit, because they normally get pulled round corners fairly well, with everything being at the front end.
I think
you
it's also
towed round, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's also to do with the line that you need to take. I think the optimal line leads you to point the car through the apex at a very, very shallow angle, and therefore it attracts the off track.
Right. Yeah, good point actually.
Whereas with a rear wheel drive car, you kind of hang the back out.
Yes.
And power your way round the outside of the corner a bit more.
Yeah.
Don't need to cut the corner as much because you've got lots and lots of torque pushing you through.
Yes, and the back of the car just helps you in that as well, you know, with the rear end coming out so nice under controlled, under oversteer. It's just, it's a very different thing, isn't it, entirely?
Totally different behaviours. As these three are starting to come together now. So Adam is dropping towards Sam Blees. Wobbly is looking like he's going to poach something, or everything. One of those two things to be true. And Spencer at the minute is giggling all the way to the bank because he's about to get the biggest paycheck.
Well, he's put the time and the pace in, so you can't argue with Spencer.
Oh no,
but
definitely not.
These three are set up for a real old cracking battle because Adam's not going to give way. And Sam is a master overtaker. So is he going to do him here on this corner? This is one of the places where we've seen some amazing overtaking attempts and some amazing defending. So there you go. And that's pretty much what Spencer did, isn't it? It was a
Yeah, yeah.
clean attack. And I think that's pretty much irresistible, frankly.
Yeah, and what I like about that the most, and what we're seeing on screen at the minute, is that's an Audi leading a Veloster, leading a Civic. So all three cars are represented.
Yeah, that's the Bonnie side, and it's a really good point because we've not always had that fair weighting of the cars, have we?
No, we haven't. This is really healthy for TCR.
So we saw Gary just going. Gary's still really trying hard.
He is. He's a bit off the group though, isn't he?
Yeah, it's but it just makes it more of a struggle, doesn't it? When you know the car in front is just going out of sight every time you just get to the corner. He's just going around the next one.
Wobbly needs to die because he was flashing his lights. Not that I've got strong opinions about that, but yeah, he does.
So now, I would very much like to see Adam hang on to his third place.
Oh, I would love that. It would frustrate Wobbly so much. It'd be brilliant if he did.
I just think he's driven well enough to earn it.
I agree. Yeah, he did really well in the first race, didn't he? I think he was fifth.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get him a podium in this one.
He did that great overtake at the beginning of this and got that bit of lead. You know, it was yeah. But he's got his work cut out with Wobbly, who is, you know, one of the elite drivers. And
oh yeah.
there's a difference between really, really good and just being superb, and it measured in fractions of seconds. But
Yeah.
it exists.
The
And
field.
consistently applied, it wins you races.
Oh, here we go. Adam tried to defend this, but he's been fair with it. He made one move and then kept to a line. So, brilliant racing from Adam. He's maintained that position as Wobbly tried to dive down the inside. Really good driving from both of them.
Yes. That's brilliant. That's what we love to see.
Yeah. Making two moves, that's dodgy, especially in the braking zone. Adam realised where he was on, you know, in the whole theatre of that straight and the turn that approached, and did exactly what he was supposed to do. Massive respect to Adam there. None to Wobbly, of course. Even if he'd done a brilliant job, I would still not have any.
Fair as ever, Pete. Fair as ever.
I'm impartial.
You're making my ribs ache.
So let's see what happens here.
Oh, fascinating battle.
It really is.
Fascinating. I don't want them to end, but
I think the place that Wobbly looked at previously is most likely the place he's going to have a go again. So we're going to go through this S's section, turn left here, head across the track to the old back straight, and then it's going to be at that point that I think Wobbly is going to try and manoeuvre down the inside here. No, he's not near enough this time, is he?
not this time.
No. He's gone for a really wide cut back here to get a better drive. It's not worked for him.
That's because Adam just took the corner so superbly.
It was
kept his
perfect.
pace.
Yeah, his line was perfect. Yeah.
Oh, this is proper good racing.
Yeah.
What's happened to Chris?
Chris didn't really take the start. Or rather he did, and then quit to the pit straight away. So I'm not sure, to be honest. Right, Andy Littler gets well out of the way as these two come steaming through. He's keeping pace with them, which is fine, because he's got his own race to race as well. Although he's letting go there.
Yeah, he just wants to be out of the way when they're going around this corner.
Yeah,
I know exactly how he feels.
He's joined the queue though, which is good. Can watch what lines they take and try and emulate it for a short time at least.
Yeah, it's we all want to be on the track and share the experience, but Andy, like me as well, used to be keeping an eye out for the leaders in a race, because you don't want to tangle up with them. They're not in your race. You know, we're amateurs.
Oh,
We race at our level.
yeah, that was wobbly attempting a bit of a send there, if I'm being honest, and Adams
Why do you think
defended
he's
it.
getting desperate?
I think he is, because Sam Blees is making ground on him, on both of these guys actually. Ooh, and that's actually a really nice overtake.
They're all in the 38s now. Sam,
Oh, hang
Spence,
on.
and Wobbly.
Yeah, I thought Wobbly had got some sort of weird slowdown, but he hasn't. Or has he? He's going around here quite slow, but he's on a shallow line, so maybe that's just it. As Adam tries to repay the favour, not managing to do it yet, if at all. He's having a look, but he
He's
needs to
2 tenths slower in that lap, and that's cost him.
Yeah, I think Wobbly's got a slowdown that he's still trying to shed at the moment.
Well, I don't want to
Yeah, he's
him, but I'd
definitely
like to
got a
see Andrew get
slowdown.
in front so they can resume their battle, because I was loving that. That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
And he's actually...
Oh, he's away.
What?
Oh, but
He's pulling
no,
over.
no. What's happening here?
I don't know. That's odd.
Oh, he's finished.
Yeah, but why?
Because the checkered flags are flying.
Oh, of course. How did that creep up on us so fast? We were so, like, enthralled in the entire thing. So Wobbly actually got him at the very death of the race. Roger Morton being the only one still actually touring. On the lead lap, though. And gets himself a 13th. Do you know what? I got totally surprised by the end of the race there. I don't know about you.
This is happening every blooming week now.
That's brilliant. Oh dear. First race was a bit of a snorathon, I think. Second race,
yeah.
no, that was quite enticing, I think.
Yeah, that's amazing to me, that the same races on the same track and totally different outcomes from two races.
Yeah.
In terms of interest and, excitement generated. Amazing.
Unbelievable, yeah. Lee Bowden says, I didn't even notice myself, I was so focused on the battle. At least it wasn't us, Alan.
Thank you, Lee.
Yeah. Again, if Dan and Lee, or Dan or Lee, want to come and talk about SRL, it's up to you. We've got interviews to do anyway.
SRL, is that a new toothpaste or something?
It is, yeah. Do you remember SR toothpaste? It used to be popular in the UK, didn't it? I'm pretty
Gibbs
sure.
SRL.
Was it SRL, was it?
Yeah,
Was
I
it?
think it's something like that. Was it
Oh,
Gibbs
right.
SL? No, Gibbs SL, was it? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And it used to have the little go faster thingies on the back of it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Anyway, we're clearly older than everybody else. Right, let's have a look and see if we've got any results to show as Roger makes his way back round to the pits. And we'll go all posh and go up here. Right, okay, so no, that's heat one. I've got the wrong race. Give me a minute. There we go.
It reminds me of what happened in the first race.
Yeah. So Spencer McCarthy was your round 18 winner for Geodesic Racing. Sam Blees came in second for Geodesic Racing White. Third was Gary Craig, bottom step of the podium for BSTV. That's a good result.
Yeah.
Hey, hang on. Where's Wobbly? Wobbly's in ninth. Wobbly got a penalty.
Yes, what you said, didn't you?
Yes. Oh, right, okay. So Pete Bingham's brain eventually caught up. Right, so what we saw in the race needs to be ignored. This is the final finishing order, so surprises here, folks. Right, let's start again. So Sam Blees was the race winner in round 18. Sam Blees second. Gary Craig in third for BSTV. Carl Hardy in 4th. So where did Adam end up? 10th. Right, okay. Anyway, Jamie Jeffrey in 5th. Stefan Goebel in 6th for VTS Esports. Jamie Wilson in 7th for Team Chimera. We've had some penalties here, Alan.
Goodness me.
I know. 8th, Ant Woodward for NQR. Then we find Wobbly for Impulse Racing. And then we find Adam.
Poor Adam
I
down
know.
there.
What's that about? I thought he was going to be nearly podium position. 10th for BSTV. I can't even say my own team name. Esports Pink. 11th was Matt Flannery for Geodesic Racing. JB Deju for BSTV in 12th. Roger Morton in 13th for Safeguard. Andrew Littler in 14th for Result. And I don't think he turned a lap. No, he didn't. Chris Needham in 15th and last for Air Smart Racing. Blimey, crikey.
Oh, crikey.
What on earth, Alan, to be honest?
That's
Gee
a
whiz.
baffler, that is. That completely changed everything in front of our eyes.
Yes, it did. Good grief. So, let's have a look at the
Oh,
first
Gary
race.
Craig's got a podium.
I know, it's just totally revolutionised my brain. So we've got Wobbly, we've got Sam, we've got Spencer in the first race. Wobbly, Sam, Spencer, and then we've got Spencer, Sam, and Gary. Right, okay. Right, let's go through the pain of this very quickly and get Wobbly into the booth. Good evening, Wobbly.
Hello.
Hello. I'm just gonna do stuff while I talk to you. So first race, you won it by a reasonable margin, to be honest.
About a second and a half. I was maintaining the gap, driving as safely as possible
Yeah,
to not get as
because
many off tracks. If I had like 2 or 3 tenths in the bag, but I didn't want to push it.
right, okay, yeah. We understood that off tracks would be a feature. As I try and do stuff on the screen
Yeah.
at the
So
same time. as
when you
talking.
do stuff,
Yeah.
just check on which position I ended and Adam ended on the last race.
Oh.
Yeah,
race.
we saw that you were on track at least in 3rd and 4th, and then you ended up
So-
in somewhere else, didn't you?
I was quite safe on. I was safe. I had seven incident points, and I was
Right.
marginal on fuel. And
Yeah.
then I figured I stacked them up within a lap or something that I suddenly was on 10, and 10 was fine, you know. And then
Yeah.
I was driving behind Adam so closely in the last lap, and the second corner you can basically can't see the turn. So I
Second
went over the
corner?
line, and
Right.
as I went over the line, I got 11x, right?
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh shit, this is gonna be a pain. Oh well, I'll be fine. No, this is gonna be this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be really bad because obviously it's gonna bite me. And then I just sent it at him, and I knew he had 12x. So I knew he wasn't really defending. Well, he was defending, and I tried to keep it as clean as possible because I didn't want to ruin his race. But because I was marginal on fuel, I passed him, came out of the last corner, and it started stuttering.
Oh,
just-
you're joking.
Oh.
Yeah, so he drove in my in my rear, so I went on 15x, and then he ended up on 16 or something. Whatever it was.
Oh. Goodness me.
Well, it's quite funny to be honest.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
hilarious.
mate. We thought we were having hallucinations.
Yeah, I couldn't even do the finishing order, could I, Alan? Because I was
No.
like, none of this makes any sense whatsoever.
No. Yeah. Well, it
just
was a good race, and
bonkers.
I didn't want to ruin Adam's race because I kept backing out of my moves because I didn't want to punt him, and then he punted me in the rear.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think you deserved it. I don't know what he thinks. We'll find out. Oh, no, we won't because he's not in the chat.
No, he's not.
No. So, back to Hell Let Loose for you then, yeah?
Yeah, I guess. I'm good at that as well, so it's fine. But at least I don't have fuel issues.
Yeah, true. Just bullet issues. So, is this as bad as people have been saying for off tracks?
It's manageable, but you have to be really focused on it.
Yeah.
So you know where they are because we all racked them up in the practice, and you know
Yeah.
where they are, and you know how to avoid them. And from time to time you back. And in practice, you don't back off, and in race you do back off a little bit because you don't want them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the getting a point getting less points if you get loads of incidents. The first race felt like a real horror show. It took so much concentration. The second race was a little bit better,
Right.
but I think it is worse. It's really bad. They're fair, but I mean they're so marginal. I don't know. It's I'm happy I got it over with.
Yeah, we didn't even notice really that so many laps had passed or so much time had passed, and then all of a sudden it was the end of the race. But I did call out the fact that both yourself, you more so than Spencer, both pitted with the shortest of times. Spencer's
that's
was
why,
7.9 seconds, yours was 7.5. I did wonder whether you'd run out of fuel, and it sounds like you did, kinda.
Yeah, I mean, I turned up on the straight on the last corner, and then it just went down once, and that was the moment when Adam hit me.
Oh,
I think I
right.
would have still gotten him. It would have been like a 10th or something because I was like a second ahead already.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was marginal, and I knew that because obviously I don't do calculations, and everyone's like, yeah, I got 5 laps of fuel left, and I'm like, I got 4, and I didn't say that. I knew I was marginal, but I didn't say like I got 4. I'm not gonna say anything. I just tried to save a little bit, but then Sam passed Adam, and I wanted to point so well, and it ended up Adam being Adam drove into my back.
Right. Understood. What is Lee saying? I wonder if Wobbly got a penalty on the last corner. Looked like Adam may have touched him in the rear. Oop.
We touched earlier already. It was a zero contact where the moment where I took it.
Okay. And then perhaps Wobbly needed to get rid of his slowdown. I thought you had a slowdown. I didn't realise you were out of fuel, but I should have done.
No, fuel.
Should have done that. Yeah, we don't want you to thank anybody. I'd like to thank Ifia, Bo, and Noah, obviously.
Look at that beautiful shot.
Yeah,
going to you.
by the way, Pete, one thing.
Yeah, go on.
One thing. I still want 6 points back for the incident.
Yeah, we've spoken about that tonight, haven't we, Alan?
Yes.
Yes.
And what's the result? Is it in the rules?
I think you'll end up with the points, right? Because you shouldn't get the penalties without the positives. I don't know how to do it in the system.
I'll let Gary do it.
All right, okay, we'll let Gary do it then. That's fine. Anybody you would like to thank?
Well, you've forgiven me for the points I rightfully deserve.
Yeah.
You guys for setting up the show. Impulse, Pete, because they are nice guys and you are not.
Who I'm sorry, I don't speak that language, but carry on.
The other driver said it was good fun. It was good fun driving against Sam and Spencer, and we Sam and me contacted Silver Contact, which was fine. Good racing on both sides. Good racing, good defending by Adam. I'm a bit unfortunate that he doesn't understand that if somebody runs out of fuel, you shouldn't run him in the rear. But well, hey. And I want to congratulate Matt Flannery because he didn't crash, and he crashed the last 17 races.
Oh, right, okay. Only 17, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Probably.
Congratulations to Matt.
In that case, we'll see you next time out. I haven't even checked where it is.
Laguna Seca.
Is it?
No, wait, it's not true. It's Charlotte Roval.
Oh, right, I like that one. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good track for these cars.
Yeah, Charlotte Roval. It's quite fun.
Okay, well, congratulations on your lucky race 1 win, and commiserations for your... Where did you finish? Like a millionth?
No, 8th.
Was it
8th, right?
8th, something like that.
8th. Yes, Adam was 9th, so I was 8th. It wasn't that bad, to be honest.
No, true. Wobbly kneecaps.
Bye.
Oh, he's already gone. Oh no, he came back because he flushed himself and then I brought him back, so that's fine.
How are you doing this?
Yeah.
Hello. Stop.
I did that one on purpose. All right? Just go away.
Okay, bye.
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 Right.
Is he gone?
He has now. Yeah.
You're not pressing your button again?
I'm not, no, because that was too funny. That was good. Good evening, Spencer.
Good evening, guys. We should.
Yeah. We should eject Wobbly from things more often. So, I'm focused on you on the thing. Right. So, race 1. Were you third?
I was third.
You were third. Right. I'm just making sure I'm getting it right. It was from a viewer's perspective. It was a little bit pedestrian.
Yes.
For everybody, not just for you. Much more dramatic in the second race, and there was a strategy at play for you in the second race, clearly, which was brilliant. Race 1, what were your intentions before the race started?
So, to be honest, I wasn't going into this race. Going into the race after practice, I didn't really feel confident that I was going to have the front line pace. I mean, yeah, I think I was going to be up there, but to be honest, Gary was just, he was just as quick as me in all the practice. So I really I don't know. I didn't really know how I was going to pan out. I think it was just going to be, for me, it was going to be kind of consolidate what I could, try not to get many off tracks or any off tracks, which is probably where you could have saved some points from not getting the penalties, which was one game plan. But then once the race started and it was clear that obviously Wobbly was, to get the lap times he was getting, he was clearly just getting 1x everywhere to get those quick lap times in practice. And whether that was a psychological game or not, maybe, I don't know. Good, I suppose. But yeah, no, I kind of then had the pace. I kind of, we started getting on there, and I was in Sam's draft, and sometimes I'd gain a bit, sometimes I'd lose a bit. But it's a real technical track, obviously, as you know.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't easy to actually make a concerted effort because you'd make a slight mistake, Sam would then make a slight mistake or whatever, and it would just all pan out. And there was no way of really mounting a particular attack because early on, Sam had a bit of oversteer, and I got 4x from it, as did Sam, just because I was so close that I couldn't really go anywhere when he had a slide, and that was it, a bit of contact.
Yeah.
And I think had I been a car length back, I could have got a run and then probably got past him, but that was really early on, and he was covering his line really well. So he did, he was playing a good defensive game early on. And once his car came in and the grip was there, we were just plateaued really.
Right. Yeah.
So it was a bit of a I can completely understand it was a little bit pedestrian from your point of view. Kind of was from us, but it was hard work. Tell you what, this track is hard work.
Alan was saying the same. That this track is it's technically challenging and very hard work, even for slower drivers like myself and Alan. So yeah, I do appreciate when I'm saying pedestrian, it's from a viewer's perspective, as in not many people changing positions, not many people getting on terms with one another either. The overtakes that you did do, mostly in race 2, obviously, were brilliant.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Race 2 was a different cup of tea entirely, wasn't it? It was absolutely riveting.
Spectacular racing, really good. And you had a strategy, I think, because you were getting a bit slowed down by the cars in front, so you pitted early. No, you pitted late, didn't you?
No,
Sorry,
I pitted late.
You pitted late.
My strategy, my game plan was purely just, I've finished third in race 1. I've clearly got the opportunity to try and make my way forward before the other guys. Try not to be too bullish, obviously, and it's really picking your line into T1 off the line. That's where you've got to really make sure you come out of T1 without Wobbly or Sam getting past me. I think that's the goal to start with. Yeah. And then once you've done that, it's right. Where can I pick the next guy? How many can I get in between us? And then just slowly start making my way forwards faster than they're making their way forwards. And I've got decent racecraft. I've got a lot of history in motorsport. So positioning the car and whatever else and getting runs on people. I'm very much a driver. I was talking to Wobbly earlier in the week. I'm very much a driver that concentrates on exits, not entries. So I'm all about having an overlap at the braking area. I don't like being the person that does the dive, because maybe I'm just not that good on the brakes, or I don't think I'm that good on the brakes. So I'd rather just position the car for the exit, right? So when I have to, but I think ultimately I try and aim on driving the exits, and that generally stands me in good stead. And I'll just try and find an opportunity. And as soon as I've got that slight overlap, then I'll then go for the brakes. If that makes sense, it's there's no point doing it, I think, because I'll just disrupt the next lap or the next corner, or you got someone behind you that wants to get a run on you then. So yeah, I think that was just the game plan, and for me it was getting to the front. And if I got to the front in a decent enough time, then I could try and just get my head down and just be consistent. And where the guys are fighting behind me, I can just try and extend a bit more. Because there was no real clear pace advantage, I don't think, tonight. Even though I'm surprised I got fastest on both races. But yeah, I'll take it, right?
You dropped in a couple of purple laps just as he got in front. It was perfect timing for you, and you took advantage of the position, and the overtakes were superb. Like you say, this track really seems to suck the energy out of people, and you had that vivacity to get by people, and it's not like it's so hard to overtake as we saw in the
Yeah.
first. So you made all those places as well, really
It's so
good job, mate.
tempting because the entry to the corner, say T1, is so wide. It's really tempting to go, I'm going to throw it out the inside. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
you just then kill your corner speed, you kill the exit, and it's so easy for the guy to get the cutback. So you've just got to be careful not be duped into the silly move, and that's why I think we're all stuck. Even though it's such a wide track, you're just stuck on that one line, and if no one makes a mistake, it's very hard to make a move.
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
saw exactly what you're describing from a number of other people where they took that shallow line into the corner, but they just lost so much momentum, and people were driving around the outside of them, holding that right-hand line into the second turn, and it didn't do them any good. So what you're saying is absolutely perfect. I think a lot of people could learn a lot from you.
Yeah.
Maybe they can learn a lot at Laguna Seca, which is the next track, contrary to what Wobbly thought eventually. But yeah, Laguna Seca, usually a rear-wheel drive car track, but lots of front-wheel drive car tournaments go there. So
I've done it a few times in the TCRs, or a couple of times in TCRs. I think we've done it with BSTV.
yeah, we have,
Not that long ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
think
a great circuit, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. It's a
Oh,
good circuit.
oh.
It's one of those ones that you see come up on the officials, and you kind of, do I dip into it? Because you just kind of know, because it's that free track, you do get a big participation, but then there's almost people that are kind of experts at it that don't really seem to be experts anywhere else, because
Yeah.
maybe it's one of those tracks that everyone's got. But I've typically gone well there. Really, it's for me, it's just getting that set up and getting that run up the hill. If I can get a good setup to get the run up the hill, then you're safe from people making a dive going into the corkscrew. But for the TCRs, it is a bit of a front-wheel drive killer. I think there's a few corners on it where you find that you just got to protect the front a little bit. I think.
Yeah,
Dive
turn
into the
one's brutal.
corkscrew.
Yeah, and
It's
the
eerie,
corkscrew.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, looking forward to that.
enjoyable. Yeah, it'd be enjoyable.
yeah, cool. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and practice Laguna Seca, where you hopefully won't get the pressure of the off tracks like you did here?
Yeah. I want to have a shout out to you guys. Obviously, the broadcast last week was great. Thanks very much. Good fun watching that back. And I will do this one. So, you guys mainly. Obviously, everyone that's turned up tonight, I don't think it was a massively good grid. Maybe that was the track selection. But, thanks to everyone that did turn up, made the race of it. And all the space given in that second race, it was good to have some door-to-door battles. Shout to Adam. Although he unfortunate finish in race 2, he should be definitely up there on your possibly driver of the night cards. But yeah, no. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Spencer. That was lovely.
Cheers, guys.
Cool. Right. So next up, we are going to bring in. Where's the live booth thing there? Hopefully, I've got this right. Second place twice, Sam Blees.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct. Twice on the podium, always good. Same as Spencer. He got top and bottom, not respectively, the opposite way around. Great racing tonight again. Let me select you on the stream. There we go. That Audi, pretty reactive. You can make it on certain corners, can't you? Gets some good drive. In the second race, you kind of stayed back for a while and watched, as I understood it, what was going on ahead of you. In the first race, you were in the thick of it straight away. But it felt to me, at least, like it was a little bit of not a procession. That makes it sound more boring than it actually was. But there wasn't much overtaking possible because everybody seemed to balance each other out.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much right. We got in the first race in particular, Wobbly was slightly quicker. So when he got into the lead, it was only going to be a mistake. And I did close up a little bit at the end, but it was never going to be. I was never going to be able to catch and pass. It was only ever going to be a mistake that got him there. And I think the thing is, with this track, I know that's not a popular choice. It's been I've quite enjoyed it. It's a very, very challenging track to drive, and it's very challenging to be consistent. And so for that reason, there are a lot of people making mistakes, and the 1Xs are. I don't think they're necessarily egregious. They're in pretty much the right place, but every corner tempts you to go out and push them. So you could get 3 or 4 a lap quite easily.
Did you get a slowdown on lap 1, race 1?
No, I just had no grip. I got the rear tyre slid in turn 1, and then it was basically I was fighting to keep control of the car for about 3 laps.
Wow.
The rears, I don't know if I'd flash heated them or something, but Spencer was all over me. The tyres weren't working; they weren't coming in at all.
Somebody passed you on the start-finish straight, and was it start-finish straight? It might have been the back, the end of the back, the proper back straight. And I can't remember who it was.
So I was second from the start on that one. I got ahead of Wobbly into turn 1, and then he got me back on the apex. But I stayed second the whole time. But I just.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else in an Audi. Maybe it was Stefan. Never mind.
I think it was Stefan.
Was it? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, no, I didn't have any slowdowns. My car was just all over the place for the first few laps of the first race, but it was fine in the second race. It's just the Audi's just a bit of a pig. So my setup was so scary for the first handful of laps down the S's. It was very, very, very loose.
Right.
And it's the only way I can make it quick. I've done so much practice for this one. I don't normally need to do much for this track and this car. Oh, it was
What was it doing? Tail wagging or just understeering?
No, tail was
tail wagging.
It
or
wants
both.
It wants to understeer, so the setup ended up very, very extreme to stop it. So the tail was all over the place, and it was basically if I braked just a tiny, tiny amount too much, then either the back was stepping out or I just had no drive at all coming off the corner. So it was a wrestling match. It wasn't like sometimes you get the car dialed in and you just feel like, oh yeah, I can just think about the corner and it's just going to happen. It wasn't that. It was, I was fighting it everywhere, which is fine. It is fun sometimes, but it was hard work.
Hard on the nerves, mate, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It definitely
keeps you on your toes, certainly.
Yeah. And race 2, you pitted early, right?
Yeah, so Wobbly went in. I went in the lap after him, and I came out just ahead.
Was that a response to him going in, Sam, or you planned to do that?
Yeah, it was basically a response to him. I knew I could make it when he pitted, but I wanted to. I wasn't yet being held up by people in front of me because I was about a second back from Gary at the time. So, and he was in, I think he had Jamie Jeffrey and Carl in front of him.
Yeah.
So I spent the next lap pushing to close that gap and then pitted at the end of that lap and was able to get ahead. Because I knew if I stayed behind them and Wobbly had a couple of clear air laps, he'd be gone. And I think he was probably slightly quicker. When I came out and got ahead, he wasn't able to do much about it. So I needed track position. I think that was the thing. It was very, very difficult to pass. Not because of aero wash. I think it's just really hard to follow because you can't see the track limits. So psychologically, if you get closer than about 7 or 8 tenths behind the car, you can't see your turning points. You can't see your braking points because you're too close, and that makes it very, very easy to get a penalty here. So that's why we saw a lot of that gap in the first race. Because actually, if you go any closer, you're much, much more likely to make a mistake and have a problem. So I knew that if I was able to get ahead through the pits, I would have a better chance of staying there, and that's how it turned out. And then he obviously screwed up the last lap and got him and Adam penalised, finished 9th. So all is well that ends well.
Yeah. I giggled. It has to be said. Once I'd figured it out.
Shame for Adam though. He had such good pace and he was driving so well.
Yeah,
it is a shame, but he'll be back because that was a great drive for him.
He drove a great race, so yeah,
he really
he'll be
did.
happy with that.
Absolutely, and it wasn't like specialist circumstances or mistakes and stuff. He was within two seconds of Spencer on pace at the pit stop. He came out ahead of me and Wobbly on pace.
Yeah,
through the pit stop, it was just a great drive. So
yes,
props
very
to
impressive.
Adam. He did really, really well.
That's nice of you to say so, Sam.
Yep, absolutely. We got Laguna Seca next time out. It's rookie's favourite, if you know what I mean, because you race there so many times before you get out of rookies.
Absolutely.
We've been there before with the TCRs. Sometimes it can be brilliant. Sometimes it can be a snorathon. I expect if we get more participation next time. I think this track put a lot of people off, to be fair.
Yeah, I think not everyone owned it.
Yeah.
So yeah, apologies for that one.
Yeah. How do you go at Laguna?
Yeah, not too bad. I quite like Laguna. Hopefully, I can find a better setup. But yeah, I'm not too concerned about Laguna. I think the Audi will be fine there. There's nothing too slow. Final corner might be a struggle.
Final corner, I was going to say, yeah. Maybe even turn one, but as soon as you're in turn one, you're out of it, right? So
the screen's still moving.
Oh,
I can still hear you.
Right, okay. OBS is having an issue. I think I've sorted it by clicking data and capture. So Twitch is now failed, but never mind. So yeah, Laguna Seca, hopefully that'll be successful for you as well. In that case, anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
And I'd just like to thank Wobbly for screwing up the strategy and getting a penalty, as always, keeping me ahead. But no, it was good racing at the front at Wobbly and Spencer. It was good stuff. I think I probably ought to apologise to everybody who I put through driving that track. If I'm in a position to make the decision next time, it won't be COTA. Let's go there.
Okay.
There's a good chance it won't be me anyway. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And as always, thanks to you guys for hosting and putting it on. And it was good racing, even if the track was a bit dodgy. So thank you for that.
Yeah. No, it was fantastic. That second race was absolutely riveting, and we didn't even see the checkered flag, Sam. We were into the
No, we were utterly soaked into what we were watching. So brilliant stuff. Sam Bleed.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Right, and then last in for tonight is Gary Craig. Good evening.
Hey.
Gift from Manna from Heaven, we'll call it, in the second race. But let's talk about the first race first. Fourth, I think, was it?
I think so.
I think so.
It's a while ago now.
It was an entire whole race ago. You seem to have quite a good pace, but we're drifting away from from Wobbly, from Spencer, and from Sam in the first race. Not being threatened eventually by anybody behind you. You obviously had the track down, but they had possibly something over you. Were you being overcautious with the 1Xs, or were they just literally faster?
I could have pushed balls out and still have been slower than them and lost points. So I focused on getting as few off tracks as I could all night. I surprised myself. Actually, I got 0 off tracks in practice, 0 off tracks in quali, 0 off tracks in race 1.
Oh wow!
And I'm quite annoyed that I picked up 5 in race 2.
Right.
That was my entire focus, was just driving around without getting off tracks all night, and that's the only reason I think that kind of anywhere near the top 3 guys on points in the overall. Is just that I've been doing that all season.
Yeah, you're not that far off from either, are you? I don't know what drop weeks does. I haven't done that bit yet, obviously.
Well, the official scores on the BSTV website are incorrect because they drop around as opposed to races. I've posted the actual correct ones to the rules in the chat. Right.
Okay, cool. So you're in 4th and behind Wobbly by 14 points.
Well, Wobbly was just telling me that he's having his race 1 reinstated from VIR.
Yeah, ish. So
ish, because that will change things. Because that will be his drop race potentially, which means he drops those 6 incidents, which means he's actually 6 points ahead of Spencer in second still.
It could be. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
And I'm waiting for official word before changing that.
That'll come.
Shenanigans.
Before the end of the week, because I don't want it to be a last week disaster alert for everybody. So I'll sort that out by the end of this week. Race 2, completely different story. It was a bit of a brawl at the start. I think you went into turn 1 on the first lap about 20 wide, second lap about 4 wide, and then sorted it out by lap 3.
I was quite scared. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially trying to be safe. There was a gap. I kind of saw it, and then I was in between Jamie and Spencer at one point, and I backed out. And yeah, I was side by side with Carl, possibly, and got a 0x on lap one. It was yeah. So I was again trying to be as careful as I could there because it's tricky. It's a very tricky turn.
And then throughout the race, you pitted kind of middle of the top guys, if that makes sense. So certain guys went in. Well, Wobbly went in first, Sam went in second, and then I think you were on the third wave that went through.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was holding up Wobbly, so he pitted. Sam was right behind me. He pit the next lap, and then I pit the lap after that.
Yes.
But I took like an extra lap of fuel just in case, whereas they took a lot less because they were saving. Whereas I was still going kind of full fuel because they did have a bit extra pace. I felt okay in practice pace wise, but then I kind of was backed off quite a bit in the race just to again be safe. So
Safe.
Yeah.
be safe.
Yeah.
Be safe. So you did a stationary time of 8.6. The two that nearly ran out of fuel were Wobbly. I guess Spencer possibly was okay because he'd have had the luxury of being able to save with such a big lead. But Wobbly did a 7.5, so 1.1 seconds faster.
So I took 12 litres. I think Wobbly took 9, perhaps.
Wow.
Maybe 8.
Okay.
I think Sam took 8 or 9 as well.
Well,
10 would have been fine. I would have been fine on 10.
Well, so would Wobbly.
But they had saved a lot in that first stint behind me, so they actually probably took 8 or less. I think they would use like about 0.15 less than I was per lap.
Oh, okay. Well, if he hadn't, he wouldn't have coughed leaving the last corner, and Adam wouldn't have driven in the back of him.
I was going to say, did you see that amazing double overtake I did in the last turn?
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was so quick, I didn't even see it. But it got you on the podium, so happy days.
Another totally genuinely deserved podium 2 weeks in a row.
Too right, absolutely. And hopefully the same will happen at Laguna Seca. You and I have both done a gazillion laps there.
It's Charlotte Roval next week.
What?
It's Charlotte Roval.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Pete's going to go and click some buttons. Why have I got Laguna Seca on the site then?
You probably got it wrong. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
There's fellowship there.
I'm sure Wobbly said it was.
He did. But I don't...
I think we both agree. Yeah, Charlotte Roval.
No, it's definitely Laguna. I think I'm being sold a puppy here.
I would never do such a thing.
Yeah, WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca. That's
Roval,
where you're racing. Yeah, Laguna Seca Roval. That's right.
Sponsored by Charlotte.
You two are trying to send me down the river. Yeah, we've done a million laps around there. Front wheel drive, all good until you get to the sharp corners, but generally okay, right?
I'm not a big fan of the track, to be honest.
No.
Well, I could easily take it or leave it, but whatever. It's got to be better than COTA West.
Yeah, I think Sam's got some apologising to do if he's not done it already.
Well, Spencer or Wobbly have to do something about this because last time you won one, it was Monza combined. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So somebody has to stop this despotic choices that he keeps making on bad racetracks.
Well, I can forgive him a lot for that second race, frankly.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think we all got into a bit of a flow towards the end there. It wasn't quite as bad as we perhaps were originally after first practice thinking, but it still wasn't particularly fun.
No, I think the track counts against the kind of racing that you all actually do really well. So yeah.
If we'd had pushed as hard as perhaps we normally would have done, we all would have had 3 drive-throughs there.
Yeah, and that's it. You had to take notice of that in this on this circuit, and that isn't normally the best thing for the kind of free-fall driving that we enjoy, is it?
No, I mean
so well.
Fortunately, the tracks remaining in the rest of the season probably aren't too bad. Obviously, next week, Charlotte Roval is not much of a problem with off tracks there. Then we've got Alton without chicanes, which means you've just really got turn 1 and Cascades to worry about, and you can avoid them. And Spa has got the new off tracks there. Maybe we'll be okay. So we might be able to race kind of without worrying too much for the rest of the season.
Cool. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to, other than Wobbly for running out of fuel and getting a penalty?
Well, the best former teammate ever who keeps handing me podiums. Yep, thanks, Wobbly.
Yeah, too right. And anybody else in that list?
Yeah, the two of you, obviously, for doing the broadcast and keeping it interesting when I'm sure we were all driving in a line doing nothing in the first race. All the guys, it's you could be on a boring track, but at least we have a laugh, kind of racing, practicing together. So yeah, good bunch of guys, good fun still.
Cool. In that case, we'll release you back to a now empty interview waiting room. Gary Craig, thanks a lot.
Cheers. See you, Charlotte.
Good night, Gary.
Cool. Right. We've got the.
No, I'm totally baffled.
Yeah, it's just bizarre, isn't it? Which whiskey are you on tonight?
I've still got some of that carb left. I'm trying to see the bottle off. But I think it's going to see me off first at the race.
Excellent. Good stuff. That's the way to do that. So, we've got the most challenging decision as ever.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, to me, I've got a clear winner, but I'm feeling you might have the same one. So I'm not sure. Know.
So, Spencer's done a great job tonight, like he always does, as has Sam. I mean, 2 second places, you can't argue with that. No. Wobbly, he won the first race, not with a landslide, but his second race lacked panache in the fact that he got relegated down to whatever it was, 6th or something. Or even less than that, I'm not sure. 8th, I think. Adam did a great job, and as Sam, I think it was saying, he's really taken this car to task, and I think he's probably my prime candidate. Gary's done well, but ended up on the podium as a result of other penalties, and then the rest of the field, if that takes if that's respected or not. So I think my point's going to go to Adam. I think he really has done a great job tonight. He's definitely picked up his game. He's been penalised, but only by the way of the car in front of him running out of fuel and choking on him. I think he's been very, very competitive and done something different with the car. So my point's going to Adam.
Yes, well, of course, mine were going. He was my favourite choice as well, and I love it that we agree on these things.
Yeah,
I do. Well, I'm not going to give him, because the fact that you've given Adam your point means that I can give Carl mine.
Here we go. Right, go on.
Because he only came in just behind Adam, in 4th, I think he was, in the second race, and he had to defend damn hard to actually keep that position. He had to work hard for it tonight. He did, and I think he drove exceptionally well. He did, and I'm very happy to give it to him. I think that's one of his best drives on this hard track as well.
Yeah, it's a very challenging track, and I think that's a vote really well made, actually. Very good. Ultimately, it I think leaves Sam Blease back on top of the pile. Last season's champion and this season's current leader, I think, with drop rounds and wobbly points and all the other stuff that's going on. Let's see what happens at Laguna Seca. Thanks to everybody that watched. Thanks to everybody that was on the chat. Just reading a few of Lee Bowden's posts, and his last one saying I thought it was South Boston. Thanks to you, Alan, for joining me in the booth yet again. It's always a pleasure on these races to have you with me in here. And thanks to all the racers that did turn up. I think it has put a few people off, but hopefully Laguna Seca attracts those people back again. I'll say goodnight, let Alan say his thanks and say goodnight, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Good night, everybody, and take care.
Yes, and the same from me. Good night, and thanks for joining us. I think that second race was absolutely riveting, and we loved it. Thanks to the drivers for turning up and working so hard to give me a really good time. And thanks to my friend Pete for welcoming me and having me back every week. Can sit in this delicious chair and have a close-up view of some superb racing. Good night, my dears.